Welcome to episode 6 of High Above Courtside. My name is Jason. That's Steven. That's Anthony. Guys, what's going on?
We're back.
What up? What up?
What are we doing?
So we had a great game last night. Celtics beat the Timberwolves 118-115. What did you guys think of that game? What stood out to you? And just thoughts about the game in general.
The Battle of Aura, I guess, is what they're calling it, on the internet streets. No, I'm just kidding. The true battle in this one, because it was a close game towards the end, was the turnover battle. It was the biggest difference in this one. Celtics with 3 to the Wolves 15. The Timberwolves shot the ball incredibly in this game. Both teams actually did. 50% from the field. They were 21 for 39 from 3, which is 53.8%. So when you 50% from the field, 53.8% from 3, you're like, oh, we're in good shape here. But the Celtics put up 18 more shots than them. That's a margin win for us. Celtics shot great from the field, 50% as well. They hit 22 of 57 threes, 38.6%. The two craziest stats to me, though, for the night was the free throw disparity. The Celtics were 4 of 6, and the Wolves were 20 of 22. But the points off turnovers, though, was the wildest one. 22 Celtics to the Wolves 4. Just absolutely wild swings in both of those two categories, especially in a three-point game. Very interesting. But we're all here for one main fucking reason. JT MVP performance outduels Ant in his little tantrum about double teams. Tatum had to pop out and show the NBA who is the top dog in this league. Who's the American face of the league? Sorry, 23-year-old
in the league.
Jayson Tatum is here and will be here for a very long time. He put up 33 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 steals on 13 of 27 shooting, which is 48% from the field, 6 of 17, which is 35.3% from 3, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. I hate that. And only 2 turnovers, which is unreal. It's another game where Tatum dominated in a quarter. He's been doing this for like a couple games now. He'll dominate the third quarter in one game, second quarter another, sometimes the fourth. In this one, it was the third quarter. This is for too many threes, guys. 2 for 2 from the restricted area, 1 for 1 in the paint, 2 for 2 from the mid-range, and 2 for 5 from three-point land. He gave the viewers a variety of shots, especially after the inside the NBA guys tore into them at halftime for, you guessed it, too many threes. And it was very interesting. After the game, B-Rob, a Celtics beat reporter, reported that the Tatum asked Joe before the game to have that Ant matchup. And, well, Ant put up a pedestrian, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists on 5 of 16 shooting. This is 31.3%. That's disgusting. And then 2 for 9 from 3, 22.2% from 3. That's crazy, too. And 3 for 4 from the line for a team low, -10 for the game. That's just absolutely atrocious. Tony, what did you see in there? I got some more stuff I want to get into about the matchup between the two, but what did you see?
So aside from we'll get more into Tatum. He was dominant per usual. I just love the way he controls games. He gets off to a slow start, but he does that strategically to get everybody involved, and I think he did a good job of it in the first quarter of this game. I don't know what his numbers were in the first quarter, but they got down early, and almost every open three they made was off Jayson Tatum playmaking. And he lets the game come to him. He can assess the defense so well now when it's like, okay, you're going to give me Rudy one-on-one, I'm going at him. You're going to throw a double at me here, I'm going to find Sam for a wide open 3. And nothing's ever forced, nothing's rushed. It's just complete domination. But a few things, I mean, obviously the inside the NBA guys with all the, 3-point complaining as always was just ridiculous last night. And let me give you some numbers to back that up. The Minnesota made 21 threes on the game. What was it? Yeah, it was 21. They were 21 of 39, 54%. Teams that shoot 20-plus threes, shoot over 50%, and also make 23 throws against the Celtics were 25 and they were 25-0 going into last night. Now 25-1. So you can't win that game if you're the Celtics without shooting a high volume of threes. There's 21 of 39 and losing the game at home. It's never going to happen unless you shoot a lot of threes. So anyone that complains about it, it's like I'm not sure why it's an issue when it's making these games more competitive, and it's just better for the game in my mind.
Yeah, they're just not good at math.
Exactly. They're not good at math, and yeah, I mean, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, Tatum had 4 assists in that first quarter, so he was distributing, he was controlling it, just like you said.
Right. It was also a strange stat. It was the Celtics' worst defensive game in a year. They allowed 1.337 points per possession in this game last night, which is strange because I didn't think they actually played that bad defensively. I think Minnesota just shot the lights out. It was pretty absurd the way they were hitting threes. But so you play your worst defensive game in a year and you still win on the road down 2 starters. That's because, number one, you have Jayson Tatum. Number two, you take a high volume of threes and you make them. You're not trading those threes for a long 2. It's just, it keeps you in every game. It makes every game interesting. So, I mean, Missoula ball, baby. I love everything about it.
Missoula ball, selflessness, all about team winning. And then there's the inverse of Ant, especially got a little worse for him after the game. He was asked about his frustration with how teams double teaming him. And I quote, It's not how I want to play, of course. I'm only 23. I don't want to just be passing the ball all night. But the way they're guarding me, I think I have to. The reporter followed up asking, how hard is it to stay engaged when teams do that? Super hard, super hard. Because I'm wide to score the ball. Dude, end of quote. Welcome to being a main focal point of a team, my guy. He may want to watch the tape from this game and watch Tatum possessions when he was double teamed consistently in the second half and see how he navigates those coverages, because Tatum is a machine out there. He looks like he has all the answers to the test, and it's absolutely glorious to watch. But I did a little deep dive on these 2 players, and they're just not on the same level, obviously. And again, as I always like to say, he's a little younger. He's 23, as Tatum's 26. But Tatum is a wing at averaging 5.6 assists a game. Ant's at 3.9 as a guard. Tatum's up to 11.6 potential assists a game to Ant's 7.8. And maturity will help Ant in this area, but Tatum has taken another leap in distributing the ball this year. Tatum's best secondary asset from his scoring is his rebounding, and Tatum's up to 9.5 rebounds a game. I really want that to get to 10. That would just be unreal. Double. I would just, which is 9.5 rebounds is 95th percentile. As a wing, that's crazy. And then to Ant's 5.7. Oh, and I forgot. Tatum averages 28.5 points and Ant's 24.5. He's just dominating in every category. Tatum leads, and I'll say this again later on, points, rebounds, assists, 3 points made. He's just absolutely on another level. In December, everyone was kind of shooting the ball bad from 3, but overall, he's just putting up some serious numbers, especially in a marquee game like that. And then we have this West Coast trip that's just slammed. Houston, OKC, Denver. We come back for a little bit, then we go back out there. It's just like, it's a lot coming through. But I kind of want to get on to some of the others, as Shaq would say. D. White stepped up with no JB and KP. We did like 2 of the top 5 guys weren't there, so we can't forget that. D. White had 26 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks on 10 for 20 shooting from the field. It's 50%, 5 for 10 from deep, 50%, and 1 from the charity stripe because he takes it seriously, all with 0 turnovers. Holiday, again, he shot the ball well. That was nice to see him come back and go 3 for 7 from deep. It's 42.9%. And he really anchored our defense in this game, specifically when we went to zone. And it was just like great seeing like he communicates. You could hear him. I don't know if the mics were like up during this game or what, but you could really hear like the chatter out there. And it was great to just see him orchestrating that whole defense. And the kind of like the X factor for us is Hauser and his shot being back. It's absolute weapon for us, and we need him to be able to hit those. And then the roller coaster ride of Keita was probably the brightest spot on the bench. Plus 17 was a team high. 8 for 5. You love seeing him being 5 for 8, 80% from the field, because that's what he gave Gobert that little body check down low. Just gave the baby hook over him. He has some of the tools, just like Jordan Walsh, just like some of the end of the bench guys. We just got to get them live game reps.
Steve came at us with a lot of information right there. Love that. Yeah, I mean, Tatum was awesome. One more thing I want to add with Drew, he had 8 assists last night. Drew looks fresh again. When he gets a little bit of rest, I mean, he's 35 now. Like, he needs these games off because he is so important. You saw it last night. He anchors the defense. He makes the right read often. There was one late in the game, I think on the inbounds, where, and this is another thing coming back to Hauser, which Hauser sprinted to the corner and his gravity drew two guys, and he just threw it up to Keita at the rim for a dunk. And it's like, it's just a smart play, and it's a play that it doesn't get made without a guy like Sam Hauser on the court. So it's like, those are the little things that, like, a lot of fans aren't going to see, where it's, Sam Hauser makes that play. And Keita's energy feels contagious for the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
When he is really going and moving his feet, he keeps so many plays alive. Even if they don't get the offensive rebound, it just seems like, it gets everybody else involved in the action. And, he's oftentimes just a huge plus when he's on the court. I mean, they played him. They didn't take him out till like 90 seconds left in the game last night. He was awesome. It was, and against a team like Minnesota with Rudy and Randall inside, these guys aren't slouches. These are all-stars, first-team All-NBA guys. So, I mean, it makes you feel good about what Keita can be with some more reps, some more real game action.
I don't really recall too many moving screens on him either, which is great to see as well. Sometimes he gets a little wide in his base on those, so it was great. Also, it's talking about those rebounds. He's got, I don't know how big his hands are, but it looks like a bear paw, just like hitting that ball. It's crazy. He's just so active over there. It's a huge bonus for us.
Big time.
So I want to ask you guys a quick question about Kyrie and Jayson Tatum, because a lot of people say Kyrie is better in the second half. And I think a lot of people are saying that Tatum is also better in the second half versus the first half. Do you guys agree with that assessment?
So I think Tatum, I think he's a slow starter, but I think I really think he just much now that he knows what it needs when the game needs it. And like tonight, it was the second quarter. I felt like with guys out, especially with, two of your top scorers in KP and Jalen not playing last night, he knew early in the game, like, Sam has to score, Peyton has to score, Derek has to be involved. I'm not going to score 50 and win this game with the bodies we have out. So I just feel like his grasp of the game is just, he can really turn it on, whenever he wants.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think it also depends, though, on like what's going on. He is a read and react player. At the beginning of the year, he was putting up he was a first quarter leader in points. I don't know where he ranks now, but I think it really just depends on the matchup, the scheme that they're throwing at him. As you saw, once he started getting double teamed, he was spraying that ball around, just absolutely dissecting the Wolves. So, that's the best thing about him. You can't really put him in a box. He's just gonna adapt.
And I mean, he's so versatile. Another thing to add about Tatum, I think last night was his 18th straight game with 8 or more rebounds. He's just he is the best. He's not just one of the best wing rebounders in the league. He's one of the best rebounders in the league, period. So he's not only an elite scorer, not only an elite playmaker, he's now one of the best rebounders in the game, and he's guarding 1 through 5. It's just insane the amount of disrespect he still gets. And it's insane that, no offense to guys like Ant, who was bad last night, but he's largely been fine most of this year. He's in his 4th or 5th year, to get compared to a guy like Tatum, because he's wing Tim Duncan. He does everything well. Whatever the game needs, he gives the game on a night-to-night basis. And it's amazing to watch, and it deserves more respect.
No, I agree with that. So I do want to move to the All-Star voting. I believe, because I'm looking at it right now, the Celtics only have 3 in right now in the for guards and the front court with Tatum.
One's Derek White. Well, Derek White's 10th though.
Yeah,
he's 10th for guards, and then it's obviously Tatum and Brown in the top 5 for front court. I mean, do you guys agree that these are the 3 for the Celtics that should be in? Obviously, Tatum and Brown, obviously, but like Derek White over like Drew, or KP hasn't probably played enough, but do you think it should be White over Drew?
I think, Yeah, for sure. I think Derek White is an all-star, and I think he's probably going to make the team as like one of the coaches' picks because this is based on all the vote, like the fan voting. So I'm not like looking too much into like where Derek is because I think he's obviously deserves to be on the All-Star team. I think Jalen and Tatum are basically where they need to be with the fan vote. They're popular players. Yeah. One takeaway out of the All-Star voting that was huge for me was LaMelo Ball. I think was the number one vote for guards in the East, which to me, not to go back too much on the ratings things, but he's popular to young kids. He's fun to watch. Say what you want about the Hornets, but the NBA should look at something like that and say, why aren't we putting LaMelo Ball on TV more? He's clearly one of the more popular players in the league. He's not a perfect player, but he's fun to watch. So, I thought that was, for me, was kind of the most interesting thing of all the fan voting numbers.
The worst to me, though, is like D. White getting less votes than Jordan Poole is a travesty. And I'm glad that this is the first fan voter tranche because the media coaches, like you said, Jason, D. White, or I think D. White will probably get in with the coaches, but just Jordan Poole, it kind of goes into like LaMelo Ball. Like he has like a fun style of play, so it makes sense. But where I found it the most eye-opening, because if you live on Twitter, it's just constant negativity for this guy. And I'm a Tatum guy, so I'm just going to go out and say it. Tatum is third overall in votes received, only behind Giannis and Jokic. That is unreal. There's so many other amazing. Victor Wembanyama doesn't have more than him. Like nobody else besides those two players have as much as him. And when I was watching the game, Tatum's on every fucking commercial I see during the game. His signature shoe is customized for the top college basketball teams. You see them all over the place. He's top 3 in jersey sales the last couple of years. He's about to be on his 4th team All NBA. So that's good. Like that's just crazy too. He has all the accolades a basketball player won. From not even just like NBA, from like an adolescent all the way to right now. And he's the same age as SGA. He's like it just blows my mind that this guy gets so much hate for just being a polished gentleman that just wins. Like how does that even happen? He's the only American-born player challenging these foreigners for the top slot. Where's the American pride? Players challenging these guys, right?
People hate the Celtics.
But I'm throwing this out there, right? If you're not rooting for this man, this American man, to be the face of the league, I don't think you're a patriot.
Preach. If you don't like him, get out.
But that is like the most like crazy thing though. It's like they have a lot of top vote getters here, and Giannis and Jokic, and then Tatum, and then you just see and I think it's Kevin Durant, right, Jason? Who else is like real close to that?
For the All-Star game?
Yeah, like total votes.
Oh, it's so Giannis leads, and it's Tatum, Karl Anthony Towns, Paulo, Brown, East. Butler. Yeah. France, Joel Embiid.
I can't believe Paulo's still so high. He hasn't played that much.
I mean, that's another a take of mine. It's like a guy like Paulo. I forgot he was up there. He hasn't even played that much, but he's popular. So put these guys on TV. I'm sorry. I know LeBron's LeBron, and he should still be on TV as much as possible. He plays for the Lakers, but we don't need the Sixers and Joel Embiid every other night on national TV. We need the Clevelands and OKC and Orlando and these young fun teams that fans actually like to play more national TV games, and that'll help any of the ratings.
So blending into that, obviously like the MVP stuff. Who do you guys think is the leader right now for MVP?
Jokic.
No.
It's my leader.
It's
Shea's the leader, but Cruz is saying who his choice is.
Yeah.
So for me, Shea should win MVP this year so far. Obviously, Jokic's numbers are ridiculous, but we've seen too many years of the voter fatigue stuff. Look, there's no way LeBron should have. LeBron hasn't won an MVP since before he turned 30. He's now 40. That's crazy. So I mean, I'm obviously you could just give Jokic the MVP every year, but we know that's not how the NBA MVP voting works. So I think Shea should be the guy, and it's tough this year because Jokic is Jokic and puts up insane numbers, he's going to have to be in the top 2 almost every year. And Giannis just is an automatic 60% shooting and averaging 30 points a game. He's a freak. I mean, it's just tough to – I think as Celtics fans, we kind of have to care less about the MVP and just, Tatum's going to be in the top 5 pretty much every year for the rest of his career, but we'll have to accept that.
So just according to the
– Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
I was going to say, like, the betting odds, it's Shea's even at plus 100, then it's the Joker at plus 105, then it goes 11-1 for Giannis, 25-1 for Tatum, and then Anthony Davis 100-1, and then it just keeps going down from Towns, Wembanyama, Edwards, Booker, and so forth. But LeBron isn't even on this list for a betting favorite at all to bet him for MVP, which is kind of funny.
LeBron could have won in 2020, to be honest.
One more Jokic thing, when this is just like the Jokic experience where he really could just win 10 in a row. Denver with Jokic off the court, 0.976 points per possession, which would be the worst in 10 years.
Yeah, that's gross.
On the court, 1.248 points per possession would be the best in NBA history.
Yeah, that's
Without
crazy.
him, they're the worst offense in 10 years in the whole league. There's some bad teams, and when he's on the court, they're the best offense ever. And that's the Jokic experience where it's you almost have to put him in a new category. It's we can't give you the MVP every year, but you are clearly the best player in the world.
The 2.5 games out from the 3rd seed in the West. I mean, the only real reason you would give it to OKC is because Shea's averaging 36-6 on the best team in the West. But if Jokic is in the 3rd seed, you know what I mean? And he's averaging 32 or whatever, 15 and 10. It's just how do you, and crazy efficiency, how do you not give it to him? Tatum's never going to be able to go over this until Jokic has some type of decline. Unless Tatum's averaging, and he had
or injuries.
For touches. Yeah, and injuries. But he doesn't even have the ball as much as these other guys. So Tatum's never going to be able to be in that production area. He's averaging 28.5 points, 9.5 rebounds, 5.6 assists. I mean, he's leading the team, like I said, points, rebounds, assists. He is a superstar, but I mean, he also needs to he does step up. He plays great for these big games. But this West Coast trip could really elevate him if he's averaging 30 points, if he's dishing the ball out, 7 to 10 assists or something like that. The rebounds will be the rebounds and playing great defense. It's the one thing that Jokic could get knocked on because Shea just has the most active fucking hands I've ever seen in my life. He's all the passing lanes. The whole team is unreal. They had Jalen Williams standing up the other game. He was just batted the ball 3 times out of the other team's hands. It was crazy. So I think the defense is what will hold Jokic back a bit, and SGA probably will win it. Giannis is just, I don't know if his team will be good enough to be with the top 4 guys, but at least Tatum's just in the mix, not outside the top 5. And everyone even Bontemps said on the Hoop Collective, yes, he'll probably be somewhere outside the top 5, and it won't really make a difference because it's a 2-man, 3-man race. And at least now this guy actually has, the stats and the winning. He's the only guy that gets punished for winning basketball. And SGA has the same thing. He's got a great team. He's winning unreal. They're the 2nd overall, right? Because it's Cavs, OKC,
record in the NBA. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be tough to go against SGA. I think you're right. He will win it, but I still think Jokic is the best player.
All right, so moving around the league, got some pretty big news out of Miami. Is Jimmy Butler basically is going to quit on his team. So
Heat culture.
It's
culture, baby. Gotta love it.
It's basically it's funny because Miami Heat fans just we got the best team, we got Butler and all that, and now he wants out. It's just it's funny.
The fall of the summer of the Heat fandom of the summer of 23 and to where it is now is just, I mean, it's amazing. I love every second of it. I couldn't be happier as a Celtics fan that they're going through this. And this is what Jimmy Butler's done his whole career. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because Pat Riley's 90 years old that he didn't see this coming. But I don't know how there's no excuse for the Heat in this. No one can feel bad for them because he's done this to every team he's been to, and you should have cut bait with him 2 years ago. that fluke run to the finals. I'm sorry, a good GM is still looking at that team and saying, all right, we were still the 8th seed, and I don't know, man. If we don't get Dame, like, we have to think about moving some pieces around because this roster isn't it. And it's the same thing this year. So credit to Pat Riley for sitting on his hands, doing nothing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy though, right? Because they don't want to pay him, and I wouldn't pay like Jimmy either. But Pat Riley, but he'd also paid like Hassan Whiteside. They also paid like all these other random dudes. So right now, I feel like it's like a dick measuring contest of being like, I'm not paying you. You're like just being a little pulling kind of a temper tantrum a bit, just being like out there, just saying no, I don't want to do this.
It's insane. They're now in just such a bad place with him too because he's on a 1 year. He's a free agent in the offseason anyway. So now you're only getting half a season of him. Like, why didn't you just do this in the offseason once he signed his 1 year deal? Because I just don't know what you're going to get for half a season of a guy unless he's guaranteeing to this team that he's re-signing with them. So, I mean, the Heat fumbled the bag, man. And the way Heat fans were talking about Damian Lillard requesting a trade and poo-pooing everybody like, oh, if you don't want your guy to leave, put talent or no one would ever walk away from the Heat like this. And now it's like, oh, 2 years later, what happened? But there he goes. There goes emo Jimmy thinking about himself again, crying that I'm not having fun anymore. Well, first of all, you don't play, dude. So maybe you should be out there and your team would have a better chance of winning. And gotta hand it to Pat Riley, man. Gotta hand it to him.
But I mean,
so what do you
go ahead, Jason?
No, I was going to move to just looking ahead to the next 3 games. If you have a thought, you can go.
No, I mean, I think it's just tough for them, especially because the Cavs are going crazy, Knicks are going crazy. I mean, they're just going to be bottom dwellers for a while. So good luck to them. Hats off to you guys.
So looking at the next 3 games, we got Houston, OKC, and Denver. Just what are you guys looking at of that 3-game stretch?
I'm excited for the stretch. The Celtics needed this road trip. It came at the right time. December, they sleptwalked through December a little bit. We know what this team is, and going on the road to face 4 of the better teams in the West was perfect timing for them because it's just you have to get up for these games, or else you're going to get smacked by some of these teams. And you can see that they started the road trip off on the right foot, and I think Sunday could be the battle. I mean, if you're talking about Tatum getting back in the MVP race, he goes and puts it on Shea in OKC on Sunday.
Ooh, that's amazing.
5, 10, and 10 or something like that in a Celtics win on the road. Okay, now Monday morning you're waking up and First Take's talking about what Jayson Tatum did to Shea. So, I'm excited for Sunday.
What happens if Shea has another dud like he did during the Cup game? What does that do to his narrative? Or does he just escape that because it doesn't fucking matter?
Because he's not on TV, so it's like, I mean, he's putting up monster numbers, so you can't really say much about it. But they don't put OKC on TV, so no one really knows what Shea's doing. It's tough for the average fan.
No, for sure. I think it's going to be fun. Houston's going to be a great one. Ime, the get back. I know those guys love trying to put one on him over there. They're not the best shooting team, but they're just lights out on defense. They all have high motors too, so that's going to be a great one to watch. OKC one. They don't have Chet. We don't have KP. Jalen Williams. Hopefully Jaylen Brown's back. Shea, Tatum, Caruso, Drew. I mean, it's just like matchups everywhere that you love watching. Hartenstein, Al. It's going to be cool. It's going to be great to see. They have a tough time shooting, so I really want to see if we can separate ourselves when they're going through a lull and then see if we can lock up towards the end, because OKC tends to just kind of like stay in the game, and all of a sudden, boom, they run you over and you're like, damn, dude, like how'd that come over? So I want to see if we could weather that storm when that happens.
So what are you guys' record predictions for the next 3 games?
I mean, it's a tough stretch. So but I think the Celtics are road dogs, man. If nothing else, I know that the Celtics will go and win road games. So I'm going to say they're already – I'm giving them 3-0.
3-0, let's go!
I think they struggled in December, and they're ready to make a statement that, okay, yeah, we're still here. Don't forget about us.
Don't forget, we have Denver game there too. So their bench sucks. That's where you really gotta put the nail to them on that one. Just try to contain Jokic. So I think 3-0 as well.
All right, you guys got any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Like, subscribe, hit that button.
Smash the like button. Double smash it.
Help your local guys out. We got a first responder here.
Start a fake YouTube account and just spam it. It's fine. We don't care. We'll take
Share
all
with
of
your
it.
friends.
All right, that'll do it for us. You can follow us on X at HA Courtside, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
See ya.